Hi guys, Steve from Dirt Bike ADV here, just doing a SPR, a short practical review on the X-Trainer. There's a lot of misconceptions in the market about this bike, and I just thought I'd do a little review just to clear a few things up. Essentially, it's a lightweight, sort of detuned enduro bike. It's not a trials bike with a seat. It's definitely an enduro bike, and it's just a slightly smaller version, lower seat height, slightly detuned, as I say, and a smaller frame. I'm 6 foot, 95 kilos. I love the damn thing. It's so fun and easy to ride, doesn't wear you out. The power delivery is a little bit easier. It's more about torque than power, as opposed to a 300RR. But that's what I love, and it will torque up anything. It's just like a tractor, like an old DR650. The main criticism with this bike is the suspension. Now, it's made by Ole, a Spanish manufacturer. Been doing trial suspension for many years, and for what it's designed, it's absolutely beautiful. As I say, I'm 95 kilos. I've got the preload on both the rear and the front screwed down nearly as far as it'll go, and it handles me. It's fine. I like my suspension to be soft, so all the chatter can sort of be taken out. I'm not getting feedback through the handlebars and the seat. On my old body, so for what it's designed, the hard duro, the single trail, the climbing the rocks and the logs, and just doing all that sort of hard enduro sort of stuff, absolutely beautiful. It really is a good bike, and if you want to ride a bit of open stuff, it'll handle that too. What it's not designed for is desert racing or riding whoops at 140 kilometres an hour in a Fink desert race. It's just not designed for that, and it doesn't handle that well. But that's one of the limitations of the bike. So the suspension is Ole, as I say, it's 43mm in the front. Now, just to put a little perspective on that, the Tenere 700 and the KDM 790 have both got 43mm forks in the front. So that just gives you a bit of perspective. Full Force Race Components in Queensland, Boana off the Beta website, Öhlins all have suspension upgrades if you really want to go down that track. But I would suggest if you want to spend that sort of money, I would suggest just go buying a 300RR rather than trying to upgrade this bike. I love it because it's nice and soft in the suspension and really easy on my old body, and just so much fun, so light, so agile, and absolutely just fun on a stick. It's just so much fun. So the bike's absolutely stock. I've just put a little bit of protection on it and actually removed a couple of things. So you'll see the Carapax pipe guard and bash plate down there. That's pretty standard on most of the bikes I run when they're two-strokes. Just protects everything in one sort of hit, nice and light. Yeah, admittedly you have to pull it off every now and again and just clean underneath it, but that's probably the worst part. I've got a case saver on the back and just flag style handguards, and that's basically it. Removed the power switch. I don't need the soft mode. I just use the powerful mode all the time. Got rid of the light switch. It's just wired so the headlight's on all the time. So the bike is pretty well stock, and I'm very happy with that. One of the other things I like about it is the exhaust is up nice and high. So if you look, it's got an exhaust designed primarily for torque. So the bulb is up later, up underneath the radiators there. So you get good clearance underneath. The other thing is that the engine rebuilds, most people are stretching them out to about 150, 200 hours. In fact, the hire companies in Italy and that are stretching them right out to sort of more like 200 hours convincingly without really any compression drop. Because of that lower compression sort of engine design, it's not going at full tilt like a RR300. A couple of the other criticisms with this bike have been things like the clutch pull and engine vibration and the oil injection and the length of the brake lever and the gear change lever and that sort of thing. And as I said before, my bike stock, it's all fine. It really is all fine. I've never had an issue with any of that. It takes always with a new bike, you know, a good 5 or 6 hours to get used to the bike, and it's always the same for me. I think, you know, I'm used to the bike until I've done about 5 or 6 hours, and then I go, oh yeah, finally, I'm at one with the bike. So the bike in its stock form is absolutely fine, and yeah, there's no need to spend any money other than, as I say, a bit of protection. So just in closing, I would be remiss if I didn't at least throw in probably a couple of points that I feel are criticisms of the bike, and they're fairly small ones. And the first one is the versatility of the bike. If you're looking for a bike, one bike that'll do everything, it's not the bike for you. It's not a versatile bike. It's designed for a purpose. and it's good for that purpose, but you can't ride it in the single trail and then go ride it in the desert the next day. It's not designed for that. So that's a little criticism of it, but I've got a big Beta 480 as well as this X-Trainer, so if I'm riding in the desert I take the 480, and that's fun on a stick as well. So it's lack of versatility is probably a small criticism. And the second one is the tank size. It's quite a limited size tank. I think it only comes in at about 7 point something litres. So in real terms, riding single trail, that's only about 65 k's of range, which is really limiting. But of course, you can get the bigger tanks on the Beta websites, all that sort of stuff, so that's fine. But that's really my only two criticisms on the bike. Other than that, they are just absolute fun. They don't wear you out, and I'd encourage you to have a crack and certainly give them due consideration. Thanks, guys. We'll talk soon.